The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Sheila's Taylor vow brings Lee's. It was supposed to be a quiet afternoon at the Forrester-Logan world, but in the undercurrents of broken boundaries and dangerous promises, the tidal wave approached. For at this moment, when the spotlight turns to the likes of Sheila Sharp, Taylor Hayes and Lee Finnegan, everything that seemed stable fractures. In the office of Taylor Hayes, the air was thick with the unsaid. Taylor, poised in her crisp blazer, seated behind her large desk, felt a pull she both feared and could not deny. Across from her sat Deacon Sharp, his voice low with confessions of duty and longing, the years pressing upon them both. And in that charged moment, a shuffle of papers, a glance that lingers, a breath held too long, Taylor felt the temptation. The seduction of what could be. But then, the unstoppable voice of conscience. She knew how far she had come. She knew what crossing the line would mean. Little did she know that elsewhere, Sheila was making one of her most chilling vows yet. Sheila had been watching. She had been waiting. And when she leaned forward, her eyes cold but glittering with unspoken threat, she made the vow. If Taylor ever crosses the line with Deacon, she said, I will kill her. It was more than just a threat, it was a declaration of war. A promise sealed in darkness that sent shivers down the spine of any who knew Sheila. Enter Lee Finnegan. Elegant, composed, but with a simmer of steel in her gaze, Lee caught wind of Sheila's vow. Immediately her alarms rang, because Lee knows Sheila's history. She knows how far the woman will go. And so Lee issued her warning. Don't go off the deep end, Sheila. Don't find yourself right alongside those who've crashed and burned. The insinuation was clear. Cross this line, and you'll end up in the very darkness you threatened others with. What followed was a tense choreography. Taylor, trying to regroup, attempted to re-establish professional boundaries. She reminded herself of the vows she made long ago, to her family, to her integrity. But Deacon's presence, so near, revived old stirrings. Taylor would glance at him across the office, the heartbeat in her throat thrummed. Deacon felt the same, his pulses matching the tempo of temptation. They were standing on the edge of dangerous territory, and both knew it. Meanwhile, Sheila's vow hovered over them like a dagger. The scene was primed. If Taylor wavered, if she faltered, if the pull became too strong, Sheila would strike. It was not a bluff. Lee's warning also carried a second meaning. Some lines cannot be crossed without consequences. The more Sheila threatened, the more viewers sensed the inevitable collapse. Would Sheila find redemption? Would her vow backfire? Or would Taylor's slip become the catalyst for something far worse? Amid this, the Logan sisters, Brooke and Donna, had their own moment of celebration. Hope finally said yes to Liam's proposal. The engagement ring was set, the future planned. It was light in contrast to the storm swelling in Taylor's office. For Brooke and Donna, it felt like a fleeting victory in the sea of drama. They cheered, comforted, basked in familial solace. But the joy was shadowed because the world of B&B rarely gives long calm. Back in the vortex, Taylor forced herself to close her office door, to silence Deacon's soft voice. She closed the blinds. She reminded herself of home. Of the ring she wore or intended to wear. Of the children who looked up at her. But the moment Deacon stood up to leave, their hands brushed. The spark traveled. The vow echoed. The warning hovered. Lee stood outside the door. Her phone buzzed. The message said what she already knew. Sheila had made the promise. And now Lee had to decide, intervene or observe. To keep her family safe or expose herself to Sheila's wrath. She stepped in. Sheila, she said through clenched teeth, you're playing with fire. It was both a plea and a threat. As the week unfolds, one wonders, will Taylor crumble? Will she surrender to the pull of Deacon, breaking not only professional ethics but the heart of every relationship she vowed to protect? Will Sheila follow through on her vow, or will it be a bluff, designed to unnerve? And Lee, can she hold the line, balancing her role as protector and opponent? What makes this so compelling is the layers. Sheila's vow isn't just about Taylor and Deacon. It's about power. It's about past betrayals. Sheila doesn't forgive easily, she doesn't forget. Her history with this family runs deep. And lately, the stakes have never been higher. Taylor, vulnerable, attractive, near to the edge. Deacon, messy, repentant, but dangerously charming. Lee, fierce, maternal, and determined to keep the wreckage at bay. The collision is inevitable. For fans of the show, this is a moment to watch. When Sheila draws her line. When Taylor grapples with her own heart. When Lee stands up and says, enough. Because in this world of Forrester fashion, Logan drama, Spencer entanglements and bold vows, there is only one guarantee, someone will get hurt. And perhaps that someone is Taylor. Perhaps Sheila will taste satisfaction. Perhaps Lee will end up in a corner she didn't anticipate. Or perhaps the vow will backfire spectacularly. In the meantime, the women closest to the storm, Brooke and Donna, continue their celebration, unaware that what's about to unfold might overshadow even the happiest of moments. Because when you're in LA, in this small fashion and family empire, drama doesn't just arrive. It erupts. Keep your eyes on Taylor's eyes. On Deacon's approach. On Sheila's shadow. And on Lee's unwavering stance. Because when the vow is made, the warning given, the consequences rarely wait.